Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycling in the mighty mini Metropolis up Marnie, Iowa. Got kind of a neat thing going on here. This is my brand new Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. This is a 1959. It says Indian, but it's actually a Royal Enfield made for the American market, sold to the Indian company back in the day. That's how they did it back then. But this motorcycle was also sold as a Super Meteor. This is a Super Meteor Modern. This was also sold in England as a Super Meteor. And there's some similarities between this bike and that one. We're going to go over that. First thing I'd like to point out, of course, is it's a parallel twin. The 650. This is a 692, I think is what it is. There's a lot of good information about this engine. We'll kind of try to touch on some of that. Another thing I'd say right away is the frame. It's got the loop frame with the ears on it right here that mount the shocks. And they did the same thing here. A little bit of a loop frame. This is more like the Bullet, but with the ear on it to mount the shocks. Really a good looking thing. It's got a bit of a rake to it, as does that bike. You can see that. You know, just a really neat thing. I've just been having a ball on this bike. All kinds of fun. I was thinking today as I rode it here, this is the mellow 650 as far as the Royal Enfields go. You know, they got the Interceptor, they got the Continental GT. Well, this is the more relaxed, enjoyable, fun, cruising, roll down the highway, kind of a blast bike. And you know, it's kind of stylized that way. It's a little heavier, a little relaxed riding. Anyway, really enjoy it. But I thought it'd be neat to compare the two, just kind of go over the things. So let's take another good look at this thing. So the engine on this, let's start with that 692 cubic centimeters, I believe. Parallel twin. It's the engine actually hangs from the frame. The frame stops there, picks up here. That same thing happens here. The frame stops right about there and then picks up again here. So this is part of the stress, remember, the engine is on both bikes. I love the way this one looks. This one is actually a coil bike already. It's got a distributor and a coil and a battery. No magneto in this one. Air cooled. It's got overhead valves, so the cams are down here. Just a real beauty, isn't it? Oil pump right down here, dual action. Transmission separate, probably a 4-speed. It's got the neutral finder right here, kickstart only. Just a beautiful thing, isn't it? Single carburetor. Just love it. Americanized. It was made for the American market. Some call this the beginning of the cruisers in America. You know, it's got the big swoopy fenders, the fancy tank, same on the rear. This one has period correct accessories, as is this one. This is a modern bike with modern accessories. Well, this bike has period correct accessories, you know, period correct bags, racks. Here's the air pump. You know, all that kind of neat stuff. Good looking thing, isn't it? Look at those mufflers. Ah, I hadn't noticed that. It's got fishtails on it. They're both angled. Oh, look at this. Here's the 4-speed indicator, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see just what else we can point out. External oil lines. Just a real beautiful thing if you like this kind of thing, which I do. Just look at that. Absolutely. Wow. I like this right here. The kickstart and the gear shifter share the same shaft here. The swing arm pivot point right there. Rear set foot pegs. Look at that. So this is the rear passenger foot pegs. Mid mount foot pegs. That's got a forward set. And there they've got these for kind of a forward set. Just really neat, isn't it? Hey, let's look at the other side. Did I already point this out? Air pump. Okay, on this side we've got a toolbox. The primary cover. It's got the single bolt hold down, so there's a gasket that goes all around. No fasteners all the way around the edge. There's only one single fastener in the center. You bolt that tight and that sets everything there. So the alternator must be under here. I'm guessing this is the clutch. Yep, it moves when I do the clutch. Looks like an oil line of some sort. I don't know if the oil comes up through here and then through the heads. I know these are I think these are a dry sump with a sump inside the engine. So it's a internal sump, but it's separate from the crankshaft area. Look at that kickstand. Isn't that something? I love this. I just love this. What did I say? 59, 1959. Look at those shocks. Mechanical brakes, of course, front and rear. Check out the hardware for that. I always like to point these out. These are the microelectronics of their day. You know, by our standards, those are humongous. But back then, that was a micro switch, I suppose. I love the way these, you know, keyed right here. Wonder what that says. I can't really read it. Little metal bags, taillights on the back. Just a gorgeous thing. So this is the, you know, the grandfather to this model, basically. So you can see the similarities. You know, it's a swing arm, dual shock rear, got the loop frame, the ears on the ears on the frame, the parallel twin engine. They kind of copied, I guess. You can, somebody's saying this line kind of looks like a stubby engine. I guess they kind of did the same here, only this one looks taller. You know what? I want to point this out while we're up here. It's got similar bars, by the way, but check this out. Big old speedo in the center. Isn't that just beautiful? So this would be lights. So that's off, running lights, high. I'm guessing this is your high lows right here, your horn, choke, fuel, brake, of course, clutch. These are probably windshield mounts, is what I'm guessing. Look at those bar risers. Rubber mounted. I'm sure you needed that. I did drive one of these. I think, I can't remember, Everett, our good friend Everett has one. I think it's a 58 or a 56. And I put about a dozen miles on it. It was just the thrill of my life. The thing was just ran so good. Good low end torque, nice smooth feel. I mean, just a beautiful thing to ride. A thing of beauty, a thing of beauty. I think this might be the same seat as they would have had in the English model, the Super Meteor back in England. Any of y'all out there know, please post. Please let us know. If you got pictures, put those on our Forgotten Motorcycles website on Facebook. Anyway, I'm just having a ball with this bike. My Super Meteor, my modern Super Meteor. I've had it on the interstate a bunch. Which is what I bought it for. I wanted to know if I could do a lot of long rides with it. I think I can. I'm getting decent fuel mileage. I'm getting 45 when I'm going fast. I'm getting 55, 56 when I'm going slow. So on the 2-lane blacktops, I'm getting anywhere from 51 to 56. When I get in the interstate, if I keep up with traffic, which means 80, 85, I've been getting about 45 miles a gallon. I'm thinking if I hold it at 75 on the interstate, I can go long rides and maybe get 150, 160 miles out of a tank. I'm not sure about that, but we'll try our best. But just having a ball with it. I keep getting questions about the bags, and I need to mention something about that. So GV Weightless 900, they are lockable. They're removable with a key, so you can take them off the bike. Just turn this, the whole bag comes off. And they're lockable with this combination thing right here. And I have just loved them. They've been working just fabulously. Absolutely beautiful. And the seat, I keep mentioning the seat because that's a really big deal. I have grown to love this seat. I am at 1,000 miles. I will say I'm very happy with that seat. Royal Enfield and Baxter Cycle has it in stock. Royal Enfield has a touring seat that's thicker, got a backrest on it, and I would like to have that, but I'm not going to do it now because I want to put several, a couple thousand miles, at least several thousand miles on this seat. If you get one of these Super Meteors, make sure the dealer adjusts the shocks for you. All the ones I've seen come from the factory, the shocks are on the lowest level, and that it's a nice soft ride, but when you hit a bump, it bottoms the bike out and it gives you that jarring thing through your spine. You adjust it to the right setting, it's a lot better riding. It's a very good, I took it on a real bumpy road the other day, and it did extremely well. It was still a really bumpy road, but the bike held its track well. It was sure-footed. The tires stayed on the ground. I didn't have any bouncing around or sideways feel, or y'all know what I'm talking about. It just did it really well. It just did it really well. Very happy with it. One thing I want to throw in real quick, because I think this is really important. There's 3 things about an Enfield that I think everybody should know. One is it's the low entry cost, to buy. And this bike is $7,500 out the door with a 3-year unlimited mile warranty. So for 3 years, you don't have to worry about it. Just keep it maintained. Thing will do you good. The next thing I would say is that the motorcycle is easy to work on. I did the valve adjustment and oil change over the weekend. It took me a couple hours, and that was the first time I'd ever done it. And everything is accessible, and I think that is a trait of all Royal Enfields. I think that is part of their ethos. When the factory designs the motorcycle, they also think of the person doing the maintenance, and that's twofold for us as the buyers. One, if we want to do our own maintenance, it's easier to do. 2 is if we have to, if we hire it out, it should be less expensive because, well, it's easy to do. And then the third thing I'd really like to throw out there is the mod market out there for these bikes is amazing. I added the windshield, we put these foot pegs on, the bags, that's nothing. There are entire companies that have come into existence simply to build custom parts, custom fenders, custom fairings, custom seats, custom this, custom that, custom pipes for these Royal Enfield bikes. Royal Enfield produced almost 1 million motorcycles last year, so there's a lot of, there's a lot out there for these things. So low cost of entry, excellent warranty. Easy to do maintenance on, and ultimate, unlimited customability. And by the way, if you follow us here on this channel, you've seen Baxter Cycle do that with the Interceptors and the Classics and the Interceptors, the Hunters, and all those motorcycles like that. They've just made one model after another where there's just the neatest, neatest motorcycle out there. Well, anyway, it's a cool bike. That's a really cool bike. I am gonna hop on that mellow hot rod and go put some miles on. It's a beautiful day out, just a bit windy, but the sun's out. It's November 9th, I think, so we're going to take advantage of this excellent weather. Life is good. Get out there and ride, my friends. Wahoo!